Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another awesome CPaaSAA Talks. This time we've got Trevor Back. He is the Chief Product Officer with Speechmatics. Trevor, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Robert. It's great to be here.
So tell us a little about you. Tell us what you do at Speechmatics. I know CPO can be a pretty broad term. So give us a feel for what your day to day and what you're doing over there.
Yeah, sure. So, product is different in every organization. So, Speechmatics is a leading provider of speech recognition. We particularly focus on providing really high accuracy at very low latency and understanding a lot of non-English languages to very high accuracies as well. So my role here is really to make sure that we're continuing to invest in those key priority areas, defining which areas of those we should continue to push really hard on, and working really closely with as many of our customers as possible to ensure that they're getting the best out of our service. We're very much this horizontal play. Lots of different industries utilize speech recognition. And so we try and make sure that we're helping each different industry optimize their services using our APIs.
Okay, cool. And that's actually a great lead in. So you guys are in our CPaaSAA Service Provider Playbook here that we just released. And it's really cool because you are one of those horizontal plays that can plug in at the enterprise level. You can plug in at the technology and the developer level, which is really cool. So as we look at some of the use cases that you guys provided into the playbook, I wanted to touch on a couple because these really speak to a lot of the stuff that we see people doing in the industry. Number one was Prosodica. You guys are doing some analytics, call classification, and summary. Tell us about what you're doing for them and how that applies to different industries.
Yeah, sure. So I think one of the major benefits of speech recognition is that you've got this enormous amount of audio data in every business, right? But then all of these analytic services and technologies and tools really, they leverage text, they leverage data. It's very hard to draw that out from audio directly. And so one of the things we're able to do is turn that audio data into text, which is then the essence of the conversation, right? You suddenly get to see insights from any and all of the calls that occur. You get to see what your users are talking about, what your customers are talking about, but also get to see how your employees are responding. And so suddenly you get this enormous treasure trove of data that is able to be analyzed, pulled apart, recognized, dived into, and really truly understand the millions of conversations that are happening every day. I think one of the huge benefits here as well is that large language models in particular have made it very easy and very possible to then dive into these very long transcripts of a conversation and really pull out these insights very quickly and easy for all customers. So I kind of think that in this kind of type of space, there's just a huge opportunity for people to take that audio data, the real-time conversations that they're having with their customers, pull that into text, and then be able to pull out from there any insights, any trends, any business analytics they need from that.
That's really cool. And I really like how you guys can do this on the back end. A lot of times when we talk about AI, especially in a call center, there's nervousness about, oh, I don't want to introduce AI into the customer flow without knowing how things are going to work. I don't want to introduce automation and screw up my customer experience. But with Prosodica, you guys are really showing that you can plug into the background and do some really high value stuff without really tinkering with the customer experience.
Yeah, so we offer a very simple API plugin, which then our customers can decide which part of that flow they plug into. So they can decide how much is operating in the back end, how much it's real time, where in that customer journey they want to leverage our API. I mean, in essence, Speechmatics is really a research lab, right? We've got these dedicated machine learning teams that are focused on how do you understand as much from the audio data as possible. And that could be really high accuracy transcription. It could be transcription in multiple different languages. It could be understanding the sentiment of the conversation. We want to get towards understanding emotion as well. But the key for us is how do we take this research and make it really easy and applicable for any customer. And so by offering our APIs, the customer is then in full control of how they leverage these AI models, these algorithms in a way that suits them, their business, and their customers.
That's very cool. So speaking of APIs and full control, another company that you provided a customer story for was Puzzle in our playbook. So tell us what you're doing with Puzzle, and how you guys really enable companies like CCaaS providers and UCaaS providers to leverage your technology.
Yeah, well, one of the important parts here is, there's a lot of different types of experiences customers can have in contact centers, right? But one of the key aspects is that, 32, I think it was a PwC study said that 32% of customers would consider leaving a brand if they had just a single poor experience, right? Or a Microsoft study said that 44% of customers in the US preferred interacting over the phone as their primary source. They sort of don't always love the text-based or the email or those types of methods. So, if you're looking to manage a call center type system where you're having conversations with a really broad array of customers, then being able to utilize our speech recognition, which there's a couple of things that really shine out, because we focused for a whole decade, if not, well, our founder has actually been working on speech recognition since the 1980s, so you could claim 4 decades. But really focusing in on how do you understand a variety of different accents, dialects, localizations, non-English languages. It's not just about understanding somebody like my voice, which is very clear and easy for most speech recognition services to understand, but understanding those people who are perhaps not as well represented in data sets today. The other aspect is that we also offer a variety of different ways of utilizing our technology. So if you want to get up and running really quickly, you don't have all your own hardware, then we have a very easy SaaS service that you can plug and play with. You don't need to worry about any sort of hardware or load balancing or anything like that. We take all of that away from you. But if you have customers as well that really care about security or privacy or compliance or whatever other reasons you might have for hosting it on site, we also offer an on-premise solution so that you can own, manage, maintain all of your own aspects. So I think it's this breadth of being able to handle all the different types of voices, being able to offer it for in a variety of different methods for utilization, and then also being able to handle really noisy backgrounds. I don't know if you've called a call center recently, but you can often hear other conversations happening around you. And so having a speech recognition service that can understand what's being said in a noisy environment is really important. So these are things that we are able to offer, Puzzle and Prosedica.
That's awesome. And I like the concept of being able to represent populations and speech patterns and things like that that aren't typically in a data set. Whether you're hopping from country to country, or even here in the US, we've got so many different accents, right? And then especially as you get new immigrants into the country, they bring even more accents, and it's typically really hard to pick those things up. So that's really cool what you guys are doing there.
There's this very fun comedy clip of two Glaswegians in a lift trying to operate the lift with their Glaswegian accents through speech recognition, and it obviously hilarity continues. But while that's a fun clip, it's actually reality for a lot of different people trying to interact with these types of services that are powered by speech recognition, and that's where comes all the sort of when you get an automated response from a call center, you often have a lot of people that are frustrated by that. I think we can overcome that if we can continue to build better speech recognition services that understand a greater variety of accents and dialects.
That's awesome. So as a horizontal play, you guys can play anywhere, right? You can service any type of company. Are there any particular types of companies or particular types of use cases that you guys really specialize in or focus on?
Yeah, so obviously, being horizontal play, it's a fun double-edged sword. It means that we can play in a lot of different industries, but it also means that we have just a huge variety of use cases that we need to continue to optimize for. And so, as a product manager, that's obviously a challenge for us to make sure that we're continuing to optimize our service for all different types of industries. But I'd say that a lot of people love Speechmatics for our high accuracy, but also we're very good at real time. So even bringing down the latency, we continue to get extremely high accuracies. And then there's obviously the accents and dialects that I've already talked about. And so real-time live captioning in the media space is a big one. Obviously, call centers is a huge opportunity space for us, but there's also a variety of other use cases in ed tech, in defense, to name just a few. But we tend to service a huge range of different customers. One of the ones that's really coming online quite a lot at the moment is there is a huge number of new AI startups that are building Copilot for X, for whatever, and a lot of them want to be speech powered as well. And so having a very high accuracy, low latency speech recognition service, we're seeing a huge growing interest in that domain as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And excuse me, the low latency is absolutely crucial when you're talking about voice workflows. It's nice to have 99, 90, 95% accuracy, but if it's a second pause between you talking and the machine actually responding, it creates a really awkward flow. And typically you'll end up with people over talking the machine and getting frustrated, right?
Yeah, so the term that keeps coming to my mind on this is you need it to be seamless, right? You need to, the interaction we're having right now is a very human-based interaction. There's, we know when the pause is, we know how fast to respond to that. We know when the other person might interrupt or is just giving some confirmation noises, those types of things. And so really understanding how to have that seamless conversation, that seamless interaction, you need to understand the speech recognition part very well. And so, even in the CCaaS space, for instance, we're seeing a lot of customers moving away from this batch processing of ASR after the call has occurred and moving towards having this real-time speech recognition occurring while the call is live. There's a lot more you can do there. You can start to introduce prompts for the employee to give the right responses. You can start to get real-time analytics going. You can start to look at, real-time sentiment. Is the conversation getting to a good place? Is it getting to a bad place? Moving towards this real-time recognition of the conversation that's happening is particularly critical.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's talk about the future. I know we've got summer vacation for everybody coming up, so everybody's looking forward to that. But once we get on the other side of vacation season, what are you looking forward to? I know you guys are working on Flow. Maybe talk a little bit about that and what else you're looking forward to, both at Speechmatics as well as in the industry.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to my vacation as well. I've got a couple of trips booked away with the kids this summer, so that's to look forward to as well. But then after that, back in the work world, we've got this new conversational AI API that we're extremely excited by, which is, as you say, called Flow. And the premise here is that large language models have obviously got to a point where they're extremely intelligent, able to interact on a wide array of problems. You're able to ingest, specific company documents so you can answer questions in the right way for you, but you're still interacting with them through a keyboard. You're still having that text-based conversation, which is quite stilted and not seamless, right? And so you then have ChatGPT that you can interact with your voice, but it takes quite a long time to respond. It can only deal with one speaker. If you're trying to do it in a live environment in a cafe or in a busy call center, it often gets confused by the other people speaking around it. So over the last 10 years, we've been very much focused on optimizing our technology to work very well on understanding people's voices real time. And so we've done some additional work into how to put that very quickly into a large language model and then add on speech synthesis on top of that so that you can then have this very seamless, very real interaction with an AI agent that's audio in and audio out. And so suddenly you've got this opportunity where you can have this very powerful, very real-time, very realistic conversation with an AI algorithm that's powered by large language models, which they continue to improve month on month, if not even faster sometimes. But what's critical is that you need to understand what's going in to then get the best out. It's garbage in, garbage out, right? And so you really need very powerful speech recognition services to put the right questions into these systems to then get the right responses out. And so we're really excited that, again, we can offer this as an API very horizontal to lots of different industries, lots of potential use cases. And essentially they can then power whatever product you're building, whatever technology you have. They can enable it to be interacted through your voice rather than through text or rather through some other interface. And that is exactly how we've been communicating for hundreds of thousands of years. And so, what's more intuitive than interacting with your technology through your voice?
Yeah, that's awesome because I know in many years in this industry, tuning out those background noises and dealing with changes in volume and things like that is so critical to getting a crisp conversation and not creating a frustrating experience. So I cannot wait to see how you guys are doing that. Maybe see a demonstration of that at our upcoming summit in Amsterdam in September. Would be awesome to see that live and see how that's going. So very, very cool. All right. Anything else you guys are working on that you're excited about?
Yeah, I think we're the way I think about it from the sort of 10,000-foot view is that what really matters in speech recognition is understanding what was said, who said it, and how it was said. Right. And so for the last decade, we've been getting very, very good at understanding what was said at the time it's been said. We also offer this very powerful diarization service that means that we can understand who said it. And so, it's particularly important to understand whether it's the customer or the employee that is saying said things, or if you're in a meeting environment with lots of people, it's very helpful to know who said what. And so we're getting a lot better at that. We're already good, but we think we can improve there as well. And so the next step is really understanding then how it was said. And so we offer currently a sentiment API, which understands whether it was a positive sentence or a negative sentence, like is this conversation trending in the right direction? But what I'm really excited by is how we get towards like actual understanding of emotion, right? Understanding of what the intent was being said. And I think large language models also give us this opportunity to provide that type of ability. And so, watch this space for Speechmatics work in the future in terms of understanding how it was said as well. My sort of North Star vision on that is can we understand sarcasm? Right? If we've nailed sarcasm, we can pretty much understand everything else.
That's awesome. Man, some exciting stuff that you guys are working on. I can't wait to see it demonstrated again, and I can't wait to see it in use in the real world. It's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we can't wait to see how people use it as well. We're very keen to get it into the hands of some early adopters and see what they think of it and see how they use it. You really want to see how the tire hits the road and how it works. So very excited for that moment.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Trevor, thanks again for joining us for a quick session on CPaaSAA Talks. Everybody that's watching this, you can learn more at speechmatics.com. And we've got several of Speechmatics' awesome use cases contained in our service provider playbook. So if you're looking to take your services to the next level, really understand how all of these technologies, when we talk about CPaaS and UCaaS and CCaaS, can be leveraged in improving your business, improving UX and CX. Take a look at that as well. So thanks everybody for watching, and Trevor, always a pleasure. Appreciate you spending some time with us today.
No, thank you for the time. And anybody that's interested in early adoption of Flow, if you go to speechmatics.com/flow, you can sign up to our waitlist, and we'll let you know and keep you updated with progress there. But thank you so much for having me on. It's been a real pleasure.
Awesome. Good stuff.